are these people?
Nurse.org. Not a publication I frequent, but this one's important. VA just terminated most federal union contracts, including the National Nurses United. That's bad. Okay, so what's happening? In a significant shift affecting approximately 360,000 healthcare workers, the Department of Veterans Affairs, or the VA, has severed ties with most federal unions, including National Nurses Organizing Committee and NNU, terminating existing collective bargaining agreements effective August 6, 2025. What the fuck? This unprecedented move voids union contracts for about 80% of the VA's 450,000 person workforce, who were previously represented by federal unions. This is an attempt to union bust. It may or may not work. For VA nurses, this decision eliminates long-standing protections that have governed working conditions, staffing ratios, wage negotiations, workplace safety protocols, and grievance procedures. My guess is that because it had the letters DEI involved in it somewhere, that they terminated this. So, AFL-CIO of government employees, National Association of Government Employees, the National Federation of Federal Employees, the NNU, Service Employees International Union, of course, the SEIU, they're pretty famous, all of them. The termination of union contracts coincides with the VA's plan to reduce its workforce by approximately 30,000 positions by the end of fiscal year 2025. I don't know who's going to be left. According to the cited report, those reductions will occur primarily through attrition methods, including retirements, voluntary / quote-unquote forced resignations, and separation incentives, rather than immediate mass layoffs. So they're going to take some of the more veteran, experienced people and offer them buyouts to walk away, which of course will be a brain drain on the VA. For VA nurses specifically, the combination of voided union contracts and workforce reductions raises several practical concerns. I would say so. First, patient-to-nurse ratios may increase as positions remain unfilled following attritions. Part of their plan. That tell you how much MAGA loves the troops, right? Second, without you... What? I didn't hear that.
What? No, nothing.
Without union advocacy, compensation packages and benefits may stagnate or decline. Also part of the plan. Third, workplace safety protocols, particularly important in psychiatric and emergency settings, nothing to see here, they may be too difficult to enforce. Oh, man. So the VA has stated that these changes follow departmental reviews aimed at improving operational efficiency. That sounds very much like a Doge thing. Though specific details about how nursing practice will be restructured remain unclear. So wait a minute. You let all these people go, you terminated the contracts, and you didn't even lay out what the future is going to be and how you're going to handle it? Nice. Lawmakers and nursing organizations have expressed concern that the combined impact of contract terminations and staffing reductions could compromise care quality for veterans. Could? I think it almost assuredly will. What do you mean could? What is with this namby-pamby bullshit hedging language? As this situation evolves, nurses working in VA facilities should stay informed about how these changes affect their specific roles and responsibilities. You want to talk about clinical? Oh my God, this is like right down the middle article right here. Just this is the way it is. Not angry at the people for terminating it for no reason other than they want to save money that isn't theirs. Professional nursing organizations are monitoring developments closely and may offer guidance for affected nurses navigating this new landscape of VA employment. Thanks so much for your help. By the way, this is the bullshit press release that they put out on August 6th. The move will ensure the VA stays focused on veterans instead of spending millions of taxpayer dollars and approximately 750,000 hours per year on union activities. Union busting. Yes, that's protected. They're allowed to do that. You can have organized workers at a mass level, and they are allowed to be paid to meet. Department of VA today announced termination of collective bargaining agreements for most VA bargaining unit employees, a move that will make it easier for VA leaders to promote high-performing employees. Yeah, because you know those are the ones that get worked to the bone. Hold poor performers accountable. All right, so it's all the people that are on the bottom they can't fire because they're union members, and improve benefits and services to America's veterans, which it's not going to do because it's going to be a massive cut. The announcement comes in response to President Trump's executive order that excludes certain federal agencies from labor management relations programs. It's not even really on them. They're being ordered by executive order to terminate these contracts. In accordance with the same executive order, VA on April 25th stopped withholding union dues for most employees' paychecks. VA today notified the following unions that, effective immediately, pursuant to the executive order, their contracts with the VA have been terminated for most bargaining unit employees. And we mentioned who they were. Contracts covering the roughly 4,000 VA cops, firefighters, or security guards represented by these unions will remain in place, of course, as those occupations were exempt from the executive order. Because he loves the cops. He's a cop sucker. They're the Gestapo that are going to enforce his bullshit authoritarianism.
Cop sucker. Now.
This decision is good news for veterans, families, caregivers, and survivors for several reasons. Yeah. Ask a VA nurse if it's going to be good news. All right. VA staff will spend more time with veterans. That's bullshit because in 2024 alone, over 1,900 VA bargaining unit employees, there are 360,000, right? 360,000 employees. So 1,900 of them spend hours working on taxpayer-funded union time. Yes, because they had to make sure that all their workers weren't getting screwed by you, the government, fuckers. Cunts. Add to the counter. Including some who are paid more than $200,000 a year. Yeah, I'm sure those people probably attended like 2 hours worth of meetings over the entire lifetime of the thing, but they pinned it on. It's part of the 750,000 hours. Dude, you sound like pearl clutching little bitches. VA facilities can focus on treating veterans. Like they act like they're holding powwow meetings instead of actually treating patients. Guys, the backlog is how fucking long already? They can't treat the ones they got. But they have to be able to organize and make sure they're not getting screwed by their bosses.
Yeah.
Here they go. More than 187,000 square feet of VA's office and clinical space is being used by union representatives because we don't have enough office space in this world, right? Free of charge. Because it's for the people who work there. Yeah. This has cost the VA millions of dollars. Okay, so make them privatize and go to another place. Great, that's only going to fuck over your employees who now have to use the dues that they've already paid out of pocket to their union to now have to pay for office space. Thanks.
Yep.
Instead of using a structure that's already there and office space that was already in existence. But thanks.
Today's decision will ensure VA facilities are fully focused on helping veterans get the care and benefits they've earned, instead of serving as free regional offices for unions that oppose our efforts to improve VA.
That's what's happening. Unions are opposing their efforts to quote unquote improve. That's use of AI. That's use of digital HIPAA stuff. That's all kinds of crap that the nurses know what's coming. They're smart.
You're gonna be the guinea pigs.
VA can manage its staff according to veterans' needs. Guess what? You can do that without and still work with union members, not union demands. Labor contracts have restricted managers' ability to hire, promote, and reward high-performing employees. Yeah, they're not allowed to vote to promote somebody who's a union member? Bullshit. I call bullshit. Hold poor performers accountable.
Bullshit.
Right? Holding poor performers accountable, there's a process. You write them up. You give them a talking to. There's a process. They don't want to go through the process. They want to be able to terminate poor workers of color. I'm going to say it. They want to be able to terminate poor workers of color anytime they want without anybody saying otherwise and any due process for that employee. Fuck you, cunts. Today's decision frees VA managers to act in the best interests of veterans rather than union bosses. All right, so blow me is what I would say here.
You're fired.
Then we have the statement from the National Nurses Union. All right, National Nurses United. President Trump continues waging class warfare against the working people of America. Today's announcement to terminate our union contract, along with the contracts of our union siblings, all right, is an attack on those who dedicate their lives in service of others. Let me make this a little bigger. This is just the latest salvo in the battle to break the spirit of working people in this country, but we will not be broken. I don't think that that's really what is going on here. It's trying to move towards AI and not break the spirit. It's trying to literally replace us with machines. We will continue to fight for and assert our constitutionally guaranteed collective bargaining rights and to speak freely against policies that hurt veterans and the public. That's our duty as nurses, and we have a friend of the show who's a nurse here, several of them, and former. This is in spite of the Trump administration's unprecedented, outrageous, and irresponsible attacks. That's at least somewhat inflammatory language. NNU recognizes this effort to erase our collective bargaining agreements is a blatant attempt to bust our unions and to silence our nurses and workers who are standing on the front lines to protect our country's fundamental institutions. We know this administration is hell-bent on silencing nurses and other VA workers to steamroll the destruction of the VA. This administration is marching toward the privatization of veteran care so they can move billions of taxpayer money out of the VA system, which is proven to provide excellent veteran-centric care, and into the coffers of private health corporations run by billionaires who don't give a fuck about our veterans and won't have specialists to deal with veterans specifically. This president has made it clear that he has no respect for the Constitution, but we believe strongly that our right to join together to collectively bargain is constitutionally protected. And they're right. It cannot be swept away through an overreach of an executive order based on spurious claims. We will continue to pursue legal action with our fellow unions in the case filed April 3rd in U.S. District Court for Northern District of California, challenging President Trump's March 27th executive order. His EO removed collective bargaining rights of nearly 1 million federal workers. That's making America great again, right? The unions argue that the executive order was an unconstitutional retaliation against the unions for engaging in activity protected by the First Amendment. But we know he doesn't give a fuck about the Constitution either. Cunt. Nurses never abandon our patients, and we will continue our fight for funding and safe staffing levels that our patients deserve. As union nurses, we understand that collective bargaining rights are fundamental to carrying out our critical role as patient advocates. It's because of VA nurses' ability to speak up about patient safety through our union that our nation's veterans receive the highest level of care. Studies have shown unionized hospitals have better outcomes than non-unionized hospitals because nurses and other staff are able to speak up about their concerns and hold management accountable because there's a process to get rid of people. They can't just fire the one that speaks up. Veterans deserve nurses who are free to advocate for their care without fear of retaliation, discipline, or losing their jobs. This is at least a strongly worded letter. The other one was disgraceful.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say it was.
Well, yeah, except that it's accompanied by a lawsuit. And that's what you have to do. You win this in the courts. You make the courts undo this. The courts reinstate.
Go on strike.
But that hurts veteran care. The courts reinstate veteran rights.
Yeah.
Okay, that they have to reinstate this, and this is removing rights from veterans. Like, wouldn't the veterans want to sue about this? Because it's going to reduce their quality of care. Yeah. Nurses always abandon patients. It happens all the time. I would say that the nurses that are in chat would certainly disagree with you there. All right. Thank you, Kieran. We're up to 6 on the cunt count. Make it 7. All right.
Don't encourage them. You fucking animals.
Well,
God.
What's your profanity?
VA and Trump, like, again, the VA had no choice here. They were allegedly, bound by executive order to do this. So it sucks. This is a Stephen Miller crafted plan. This is a private healthcare insurance funded plan because they want those veterans in the system paid by the U.S. military for profit. And that's what's going to end up happening. There's one of the nurses right there. Wait, I can abandon my patients? What the fuck? Why didn't somebody tell me sooner? What's up, Descendant Bloom? How are you? All right. So that was segment 1. If you're able to, at a means, support the media you want to see. These are the incredible people that have already done so. Again, thank you to Eric Meyer for being this week's latest subscriber to INN Newsletter. The other ways to do that are on Cash App, $Indie News Network, co-fi.com/Indie News Network. We'll pop something up during the show if you support during the show. PayPal.me/Indie News Network. And a couple of times, Ralph Mejia and Kieran Pine, all of a sudden, it's a random time at a Monday afternoon. I get a PayPal alert. Thanks to you two. Really appreciate that. It makes me smile, really, and it helps a lot. IndieNewsNow.com. That's our news website where you can find not just INN content, but everybody's stuff, including Dissent and Bloom articles, and stuff from Anti-War and a lot of the outlets and writers that we're going to feature tonight. And then, of course, at INNnewsletter.com, where we do a weekly update and other podcasts for INN, and IndieMediaToday.com, where we are still live right now. Howdy, everybody out there on the Substacks. I love you all. Take care of each other. Support independent media because we really need it more than ever. And I'll see you soon. Love you all. Have a good night, everyone.
We up out of here.
Mwah. Ciao, baby.
No! We just fucking lost the stream!
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want?